In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, who appeared to us in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, and who raised up the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to be his messenger Messiah, the exalted Christ, the Son of Man that the whole world has been looking for. Allah has placed it on my heart, family, to come to you and deliver a guidance or a message. I was born in the 5% nation, also known as the 5% nation of gods and earths, the nation of gods and earths, whichever one you choose to call it. There's many names for it, but I remember being young and being told to study my lessons. I remember seeing my father debating with groups of individuals and people who were hostile against the teachings or the words or wisdom that my father would present to them from our lessons. And he would be so calm, so relaxed, just bearing witness, standing his ground, strong on his square, defending the teachers, defending the lessons, and the people would just be hostile. And I would be standing there with him, just like a junior FOI, ready for them to throw down, ready for them to attack and fight so we can beat them down. But I would just watch my father, and he would be just so calm, so relaxed, and he wouldn't back down from the truth, you know? And this was my first example of standing on your square, you know, remaining on your post, standing up for the truth and not running from it. No matter how many people is against you, no matter who is against you, no matter what kind of power they think they have. Allah is the power, Allah is the truth. So we're going to fight for the truth and we're going to die for the truth. But we're going to stand on the truth. We're not going to run. You know, so these are my first examples of those who love the truth, who love the lessons, and who would live and die for them. I was born in the 5% nation, and this is how I got introduced to the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the questions and answers of Master Fard Muhammad and his student, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So Allah has put it in my heart to come among you, come before you, and to give a little mercy, give you a warning to my dear 5% brothers, to the gods and earths. Our lessons teach us that we don't sit around and wait for a mystery God. For no relief came to us until the Son of Man came to our aid by the name of our prophet, Master Fard Muhammad. That the Son of Man came to our aid by Master Fard Muhammad. That the Son of Man is Master Fard Muhammad. The lessons always also tells us that we don't wait for a mystery God, and that we have searched for that mystery God for trillions of years and was unable to find this so-called mystery God until the Son of Man came, and that we have agreed that the only God is the Son of Man. Again, Master Fard Muhammad. Our lessons ask the question of who is the 5% in this poor part of the planet Earth. And the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad gives the answer of they are the poor, righteous teachers who do not believe in the teaching of the 10% and who are all wise and know who the true and living God is, and teach that the living God is the Son of Man, Supreme Being, black man from Asia, who teaches freedom, justice, and equality to all the human families of the planet Earth, otherwise known as civilized people, also are Muslim and Muslim son. But what I wanted to point out again was in that answer from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad to the question given by Master Fard Muhammad, it stated that the 5% teach who the Son of Man is. The original man, the black man from Asia, but also Master Fard Muhammad. The only name mentioned of as the Son of Man in your 120 lessons and in our Muslim lessons. So we can't speak half the truth. We have to speak the whole truth. And as I got older, I learned that many of you stumble over this specific topic of Allah, Master Fard Muhammad. You know, there's been in our history, as the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, that we write our history in advance, 25,000 years in advance, that there are 24 wise gods or scientists over the black nation who records the history or records the thinking of the people to and write in advance what tomorrow will bring by studying the thinking of the people today. 23 actually do the recording, in the 24th, the God over the 23 judges on what shall be and what shall not be. So Yaqub was seen ahead of time, and the God made a judgment to let it be. The God had that power to say yes or no. We are taught that before Master Fard Muhammad, Yaqub is the supreme Allah, was the supreme God before Master Fard Muhammad. That the scientists was really afraid to even challenge Yaqub. That's how supreme his wisdom was. And that there was not one more supreme than Yaqub until the coming of Master Fard Muhammad. So even in the circle of the 24, there is one above them all. The 23 answers to the 24th one. This is a circle of gods. And even in the time of Yaqub's made devil, there was the head. There was the supreme one over the rest of the gods, which was Yaqub at that time. We are teaching and telling you from the teachers of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad that the supreme one, Allah, today, over all of the gods, Allahs today, is Master Fard Muhammad. Now you can take it or leave it. That's on you. But the question, our lessons in your 120 lessons tell you, ask the question of why did God make devil? Why did God make devil? And the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad gives the answer just to show and prove that Allah is God, always has been and always will be. That he could destroy the devil in one day without falling a victim to the devil's civilization. So the devil was made just to prove that Allah is God. Now we know, as your lessons bear witness, that Allah is dealing with the original people, the original man, the black man. All of us are Allah. But there's a supreme Allah who is the greatest over us all. Just as there always been. Every 25,000 years, as the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches, there is a God who is given the opportunity to show forth his power and wisdom for that 25,000 year cycle. Yaku showed forth his power and wisdom by making a devil for us, who we limited his time period to 6,000 years. After that 6,000 years, another God would come, who would remove Yaku and his made devil with a superior wisdom. In your book, or our 25,000 years calendar or cycle of this present 25,000 years, the 24 bear witness that this one coming in the end, they could not see past his light because his light was just too bright. And that he would do a specific work, and that there would be a lamb whom the 24 cast their crown down to and bow down to that lamb. His work would bear witness to his presence, to his power. So let's get back to the Son of Man. It said in y'all lessons, the 120 lessons, as well as the Supreme Wisdom lessons, that we search for this mystery God for trillions of years and was unable to find this so-called mystery God. So we agree that the only God is the Son of Man. Now this we are gods as well. But the we, the 24, 23, 24, is bearing witness that the Supreme Allah is the Master Fard Muhammad, even in your lessons. So, I love the work that the 5% Nation has put in, because without the 5% Nation, I would not even know the name of Master Fard Muhammad, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, or the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I would have been born probably worshiping a white Jesus instead of worshiping the God Master Fard Muhammad, and knowing the knowledge of myself. There are, in the history, indeed, the 5% Nation made it popular. The 5% Nation made it popular to say that the black man is God in the streets, even though this is already a part of the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. There was hypocrites who claimed to follow the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who did not bear witness to that, who attacked the babies, who were children of the 5% Nation, who would say this. And that caused tension between 5% Nation, those students or sons of Allah the Father, who is a student of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, known as Clarence 13X in the ranks of the Fruit of Islam. It caused a tension. It caused tension between the two. But I would say to the gods that don't allow hypocrites to make you into a hypocrite. The first generation of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that first resurrection, they fell. They failed the test. They turned hypocrite. When the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad left, they turned hypocrites. And they are still in hypocrisy to this day. So the truth in the lessons, they were not able to, or even qualified to bear witness to, because they was proven to be not believers in that. So don't allow hypocrites from the first resurrection to make you a hypocrite today. You don't want to bear witness to who Master Fard Muhammad is. You don't want to bear witness to who the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is, nor do you want to bear witness to who the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is. You want to think of yourself as self-sufficient. You want to think of yourself as the 24th, as supreme as the 24th is, as the 24th God is, or the 24th scientist. You want to think of yourself as the one to sit as judge. When Granddaddy Shabazz had an idea and he came among the circle of the 24 and his idea was rejected, and he went along with his idea in the first place. He went along with his idea. He left the circle and went to the jungles of East Asia, as they are now called Africa. It was not on the gods to come and get them out of the jungle. The minister was disappointed in Allah for allowing or letting them roam in the jungles of Africa and not sending someone to get them. And he wrote a letter to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad about the subject, and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad told him, brother, the God was not obligated or required to send someone to go and get them. They chose themselves to go into the jungles. They chose, while having knowledge of themselves, while having knowledge of the gods, and while having knowledge of the supreme Allah, they chose themselves to go into the wilderness, into the jungles, and live a jungle lifestyle. So the God was not required to go and get them. That was their decision. So it is with you today. You got the supreme wisdom lessons of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Master Fard Muhammad. You know what your lessons tell you. You know that Allah, the supreme Allah, is Master Fard Muhammad. Now, whether you choose to bear witness to that or not, that's on you. Whether you choose to stay in the wilderness or jungles of America, that's on you. But we have our own duty here. We are directly in the circle of the 24, here in the Nation of Islam, under the guidance and leadership of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's minister, Louis Farrakhan. We, the Nation of Islam, as your lessons tell you, that has no beginning nor ending. The nation that's all wise and does everything right and exact. The nation that tells you if a civilized person does not perform his duty, what must be done, and whom they shall be punished by. So we are in the circle of the God who has power over the 24. Now, you can do as you choose. But the Quran tells us who is more unjust than those who hinder men from Allah's way. You would be a fool to try to hinder men from the truth of Master Fard Muhammad. You would be a devil to even try to fight Master Fard Muhammad. What I mean by this, in trying to fight Master Fard Muhammad, is in trying to attack the Nation of Islam or the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Louis Farrakhan. You are in return fighting Allah, the supreme Allah, over all of the Allahs, Master Fard Muhammad. Now, ain't nothing wrong with challenging. Ain't nothing wrong with trying to having a righteous competition to see who is the supreme Allah, you yourself, or the one who the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us of as the supreme Allah, Master Fard Muhammad himself. Ain't nothing wrong with having a righteous competition, because that's the reason why we made devil in the first place. Go and show and prove your wisdom. Remove the devil from the earth. You, yourself, go ahead. Remove the devil from the earth. And the world will have no choice but to bow down and bear witness that you are indeed the supreme Allah over the Allahs. You are the supreme one over all the gods. He's present. The devil is present for a reason. To show and prove this very reality of who the supreme Allah is. Because we haven't even made it out from under the rule of the Caucasian people, and you've been given just a little knowledge, and you are already thinking like Iblis. Allah told you to bow down to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, or to Adam, his Caliph, and you are already saying, I am better than he is. I'm not bowing down. I'm better than he is. We haven't even made it completely out of the devil's world, and you are already in rebellion to the supreme Allah. We write our history 25,000 years in advance, meaning the gods see in advance. So do you really think this wasn't seen ahead of time? Or do you doubt your own lessons? Do you doubt the reality of the power of who Allah is? Do you doubt the power of the gods? Show and prove. And if you don't have that power to remove the devil from the earth, it would be wise that you get in touch with the God, with the supreme Allah, who does have that power. But I warn you, hindering your people from getting in tune with Master Fard Muhammad and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and their man in our midst today, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, will cost you your life and will cost those who follow you their lives as well. So I just had to come before you, as I felt that Allah put this on my heart to say to you. Because the only name in your Supreme Wisdom lesson, or in your 120 lessons, which is the Muslim lessons that you study, the only name of Allah, or the Son of Man, the God, in your 120 lessons that the Father Allah left in your 120 lessons is Master Fard Muhammad. The only name of the original nation that Allah the Father left in your 120 lessons is the Nation of Islam. It don't say nation of gods and earths. It don't say 5% nation. Allah the Father didn't put his own name in the lessons. He left the name of Master Fard Muhammad, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the Nation of Islam in your 120 lessons. And you are refusing to bear witness to who they are. And you are trying to make the Father, Allah, superior to Master Fard Muhammad and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which is completely foolish. Completely non-cipher. The Father did his work. He is an Allah just like the rest of us is Allah. But he is not the supreme, superior Allah over the Allahs. He is a student of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, just as you are students of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You cannot get into your 120. You cannot get into your 120 without first going through your student enrollment. Who is the original man? Who is the colored man? What is the population of the original nation in the wilderness, North America, and all over planet Earth? You must first start with the wisdom of Master Fard Muhammad, Allah himself, and the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Student enrollment. You understand? So I just felt I needed to come before you with this. I say Assalamu alaikum. Peace.